What's up, gals? Thanks again for being here with us. We have Trina Glines today. She's a relationship trainer, coach, and speaker, and founder of the Taming Jane Academy. She's going to be talking to us about strengthening our marriage.
Yes.
What's the biggest impact that you've found that this knowledge has had on strengthening marriages?
Well, I know for my personal journey, the one word I used to describe it is I felt so free. Like it was so freeing when I started learning all of this. And so I've often heard ladies say the same thing, like this is just so freeing that, number one, I'm not expected to handle everything for my husband, like figuring that all out. Like he's okay to be his own person and work in a different way. That's so important that we allow each other to be different individuals, and They don't have to do it our way. And so repeat your question again. I just answered my situation. I felt more freeing, but what have I seen in other women in their relationships?
Yeah, just how it strengthened marriages once they figured all this out.
One of my favorite things to do is when, I've obviously got a lot of ladies in my community that have taken some of either my courses or they've seen me speak or whatever. When I run into their husbands, the smiles I get, thank you so much. And I often ask them, and they're just like, the communication has just been incredible. And the respect for who a man is, instead of feeling like he's constantly having to be changed or he's not good enough. And you just learn, kind of one of my mottos is love your man as you love your man. You're going to be adored, and now you're going to create your story. So love your man, be adored, and create your story. And learning just, so marriage is a partnership. What's the first part of partnership? Well, we both have our own parts, but whose part do I have control over? Mine.
Your own. Yeah.
Only mine. And that, for a control freak, when I first realized that wasn't good news to me. I really wanted to be in control of all the little parts, but it wasn't working so well. I was trying and it wasn't working so well. And so, ladies taking responsibility for their own part and not being worried about his part. And then what happens, all these ladies will say the same thing: as I changed my part, as I worked on my part, it directly influenced him, and he wanted to be better. So slowly he started, doing different things and asking me questions. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. We've all seen that when somebody's working on themselves, others around you are being benefited, right? They're the beneficiaries. And it makes, when you watch somebody else do a self-improvement, right, it increases your desire, right?
Definitely.
To be better. Yeah.
I love that so much. What would be your number one takeaway that you want moms to remember from everything that you've said?
So I would say the number one takeaway is there's more than one right way to do something. We need to remember that. And we need to remember that our marriage is the most important relationship in your life. Above your kids are going to leave. My kids are all gone. It's just him and I. It is the most important relationship you will ever have. And so we got to get rid of the queen's hat and realize there's more than one way to do something. And as we let that go, we need to be willing to understand that no one taught us. Did anybody teach you how to be married? No. Right?
But you get advice. You definitely get advice, but you definitely are not taught. You're just kind of thrown into it.
Exactly. What did it take for you to get your driver's license?
A course and a test and hours of practice.
Yeah, right. And so we get none of that beforehand. And it's the blind leading the blind. And so because we fell in love naturally, because there's a lot of pheromones and a lot of things going on, you know, that attraction is very real. We fell in love naturally. We think marriage should just work naturally. And it doesn't. Every successful marriage has been very intentionally created, and it takes time. So I think that's the main thing is ladies, be willing to work on your marriage. And, you know, I worked on my marriage for many years, but it wasn't until, you know, gosh, we'd been married 20 plus years that I decided to just work on my part. Because how often, I always warn my ladies when they're reading relationship books, be careful, because if you're reading a relationship book that he should do this, she should do that, he should do this, she should do that, you know, you're going to come away going, my man isn't doing any of these things, and it's going to feel like things are worse than they really are. Right. That's why I love, you know, I have, you know, different books now that I recommend that it's just talking about your part. Because then it's like, oh, okay, it's a real inward journey, and you're worrying about yourself instead of thinking, oh, I've got to fix him.
And it's so much more freeing, it seems, when you don't have to worry about more than yourself and the things that you need to do.
Oh, and it is. And exactly right. And that's why, you know, in the beginning, when I learned I have no control over him, it was like, but I want that control. But then I realized, oh, wait a minute, but I have full control here. I mean, my happiness in my life is exponentially greater just by concentrating on my part, understanding his language, knowing what resonates with him, how he works. I don't take offense anymore. I mean, my feelings were just getting hurt time and time again. And life's too short to live like that. And I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful for the journey I've been on, because it's changed my life, and I've had the opportunity and the privilege of watching it change hundreds of women's lives. And it's just been the greatest blessing. I have the most awesome job in the whole world.
Oh, I love that so much. And you're obviously so knowledgeable. You have the best personality. And so thank you so much for doing this with us. Trina Glines, relationship trainer, coach, and speaker, and founder of the Taming Jane Academy. Thank you so much for being here with me today and taking the time.
You're so welcome. Thank you.